Old school. Old school encompasses most hip-hop from the late 70s and mid to late 80s. Old school hip-hop is characterized by early uses of samples, turntablism, and simple rhyme schemes. You'll mostly also hear the use of duple meter. The use of triplets wasn't much of a thing in the early days. Hip-hop was born in New York, so naturally, that's where most old-school hip-hop artists hail from. Boom bap. Boom bap gets its name from its distinctive drum production style. The mid-90s old-school hip-hop genre made heavy use of strong kicks and snare, sometimes putting those drum sounds ahead of the hi-hats and other parts of a beat arrangement. Boom bap is truly a samples-oriented style of beat-making. It's a beat-making production style that ultimately had a huge impact on how music would be made going forward. Jazz rap. Jazz rap has close ties to the boom bap era of hip-hop. That's because so many of the samples boom bap producers used came from jazz and soul vinyls. Jazz rap in the early 2000s pushed the limits of sampling techniques and combined complex rhyme schemes with off-kilter drum production. Trap right now, mainstream hip-hop, and really mainstream music in general from country to pop, is all about that trap beat. Its defining features are its extensive use of booming 808 bass, incredibly fast hi-hats, and use of triplets both in the beats themselves and the rhymes trap artists spit. Trap is truly a modern take on hip-hop, especially because trap beats are much easier to program with the help of modern DAWs and sampling technology. Mumble Rap, the genre, is an offshoot from trap that plays with triplet-heavy rhyming used by many trap artists. Mumble rappers will often rhyme very quickly in triplets while using unintelligible and sometimes made-up words. Rap rock combines the high-voltage energy of rock music with the attitude and style of hip-hop. The genre is rooted in late 90s acts like the Beastie Boys and Run DMC, but grew to mainstream prominence with 2000s artists like Linkin Park. Country trap. Country trap is a relatively new genre, with obvious connections to Atlanta trap and good old Nashville pop country. The mega hit that defined the genre is definitely Lil Nas X with Old Town Road, but outings from Nelly with Florida Georgia Line laid the groundwork for the genre. Gangsta Rap. Gangsta Rap is a subgenre of late 90s and early 2000s boom bap. Gangsta Rap is particularly defined by its lyrical content that graphically describes the grittier side of life on the streets as a gang member. But also, Gangsta Rap production often made heavy use of strings and orchestral samples from classical and jazz music. Crunk. Crunk is definitely a precursor to the modern trap that's so popular right now too. It makes use of fast hi-hat production and some pretty boomy bass kicks. Drill. It's similar to Gangsta Rap's reaction to boom bap. Double down on the elements of trap music that hit hardest, and combine that with gritty lyrics about life on the mean streets. Emo Rap. Emo Rap took inspiration from the tortured lyrics of Kurt Cobain, wistful melodies of Midwest emo and screamo, and the auto-laden production styles used by neo-R&B artists like T-Pain. Naturally, Emo Rap is most defined by its lyrical content and visual style, with artists like Lil Uzi Vert singing about their personal pains while maintaining a grungy dress code. Grime. Grime is a subgenre of hip-hop that comes from the UK. It's known for mixing hip-hop production with electronic influences from the UK's healthy dance music scene, particularly UK garage music, UK drill. UK drill builds on the trap-influenced stylings of drill music from Chicago and combines them with the sound UK grime rappers pioneered. Bounce. Compared to the hard-hitting and gritty sound of New York MCs, Bounce was fun. Its dancey nature and heavy use of call and response sections made it easy to sing along with. Horrorcore. Unlike Bounce, Horrorcore is a dark and transgressive genre. Like its name suggests, it's supposed to send chills down your spine with occult imagery and graphic lyrics. Horrorcore has a gritty and lo-fi edge, without sounding like it's from New York. It's completely true to its southern roots in Memphis and Houston. Latin trap. Latin trap is the union of reggaeton and trap music. In Latin trap production, you'll hear that classic reggaeton, dembo drum beat combined with heavy 808s and fast trap hats. Conscious hip-hop. Conscious hip-hop grew in tandem with boom bap in the mid-90s, but with a political focus spawned from the 1992 LA riots. Groups like A Tribe Called Quest and NWA witnessed what was happening with police brutality towards black communities and wrote music to voice their anger. Conscious hip-hop kicked off a tradition of speaking truth to power in hip-hop, paving the way for artists like Carmen and Kendrick Lamar. Soundcloud Rap. SoundCloud is a free streaming platform where anyone can post their tracks, get feedback, and find followers. That's why it's no surprise that SoundCloud has given birth to many artists and even an entire style of rap. Because the platform is free from the demands of other mainstream platforms, SoundCloud rappers have a lot of room to experiment. Many SoundCloud rappers spit verses over weird and unique music productions, use shocking and strange lyrics, and keep a colorful and artistic aesthetic. Hyphy. During the rise of New York's hip-hop scene in the 90s, another scene on the West Coast was brewing in Oakland. This is where the Hyphy genre was born. Hyphy is known for its influence on producers like Dr. Dre and for laying down the groundwork for West Coast genres like G-Funk and overall laid-back, feel 90s West Coast rap is known for. Lo-fi hip-hop. The only purely instrumental hip-hop style on this list is lo-fi hip-hop. That's because lo-fi hip-hop is the most popular genre of instrumental hip-hop right now. The genre blew up in popularity from YouTube streaming playlists that seem to house an endless supply of the boom-bap-inspired beats. G-Funk might be one of the most famous genres of hip-hop because it took the world by storm in the late 90s and early 2000s. Its most important producer is by far Dr. Dre, who fused funk together with unique electronic drum production to create an entirely new hip-hop sound. Footwork. Footwork is cool because it's so fast BPM-wise, and it really pushes the limits of classic trap production. Blistering fast hi-hats, switching up the beat between triplets and duple, and exclusively using a hard-hitting triplet kick feel are what define the genre to me. The drums and rhythm are huge in creating a footwork track, but also the genre relies heavily on chopped jazz and soul samples.